Well, the city of Rome has been invaded by rats. And obviously in March, we have got a good reaction to spread our rat poison all over the city and get our revenge. But unfortunately, this is not the case for the first match against Lazio, because Roma lose 3-2, a match with many regrets, a match with many mistakes, but especially a match where many players and Jose Mourinho himself were really nervous. Obviously, Mourinho protesting with the referees at the end of the match, which I do comprehend, especially when you think of that non-given Zaniolo penalty. But we'll speak about the penalties then. And then obviously Zaniolo, who exited the stadium, touching his nuts and, going like that to Lazio fans. So it was a weird match, but Roma lost, unfortunately. There were many chances for Roma to try and actually, reestablish the result. There were some chances, just after the first half where Roma could have won this, hypothetically. But then it all links back to the defense, because it is always the defense. If you think about the goals Roma conceded yesterday, it is all about the defenders. If Roma's defenders yesterday were a tiny bit more concentrated, a tiny bit more productive in their defensive section, Roma could have won yesterday. But unfortunately, the defenders didn't do that. The defenders went against the match, and Roma lost. But, I think, once again, we can spend loads and loads of years talking about this match. We can we can criticize the refereeing, because the refereeing was shit. But at the same time, we need to understand our own mistakes. Because the problem here is, okay, it's not much that Roma lost this match. It's more about how Roma will approach the other matches. Because on Thursday, we're flying to Ukraine to play against Zorya Luhansk. Then on Sunday, we're playing against Empoli. But after these two matches, Roma have got Juventus, Milan and Napoli all together. So it will really, stand upon the defenders if Roma will try and achieve some points throughout these matches. But, this is a channel, just beware that the Simon Show is an AS Roma channel, but it is a realistic channel. We can spend millions of minutes speaking and only be positive about this club, but that would not improve it anytime soon. So we need to talk about the negative sides, because yesterday's match, Roma lost to the 3 points yesterday because of the mistakes they made, especially in the defensive section. Roma conceded their first goal after 10 minutes with Milinkovic-Savic, who's by himself in front of Rui Patricio, who risked to get a red card. I'm not gonna lie. And then Milinkovic-Savic scored and then fainted. If you start a derby, just the word derby needs to highlight something in your head. If you start the derby like this, then you can't expect anything from the outputs of it. Roma stepped into that stadium, prepared well for the derby, and then after 10 minutes you're down and you already concede. They need to change in defense. And I insist that it is the way the defenders move. Because this team is not balanced at all. You see Korsdorp sprinting down that line, and then you've got Mancini who stays back, Ibanez who goes forward, and then you bloody got Vigna who attacks and doesn't defend. If you want to build a defender, you need to get 4 players, and these 4 players need to collaborate, play well together, but especially move together. Now, let's focus on Lazio's third goal, right? Mancini and Ibanez were laying in the midfielder section. And then obviously Milinkovic-Savic, or whoever it was, launched a long ball to Immobile. He ran and he passed it to Felipe Anderson. If you're a defender, you cannot approach a match and you're just laying there, midfielder not doing anything. You need to be in the defensive section. Josh Kuzi is asking, do you think Tammy was a good signing? Tammy is a good signing, But it's not, we can blame Tammy as well. We can blame every single Roma player yesterday, but it wasn't Tammy's fault. Tammy is too alone in the attacking section, He doesn't get the service he wants, and he got at Chelsea. He's a great striker, and I think he'll bag many goals when it comes to matches like, Empoli on Sunday. Maybe Zorya Luhansk. On these matches, Tammy Abraham will score. But in more complex matches, he needs service. And I think Tammy is lacking this up to now. But I'm not blaming Tammy here. I'm blaming, obviously, the defense. Because you just can't play like this. And there were people in the live watch along yesterday saying Jose is finished. What's wrong with you? If you think Jose is finished, if you think Roma lost yesterday because of Jose Mourinho, you should go to the doctors right now. Because if that defensive section doesn't improve, we'll lose more matches, and we'll concede many, many goals. But I think, look, I feel like obviously, there are negative things. There are mainly negative things. But I feel like in every football match, no matter the result, I think we need to speak about the positives as well. Because I think there were two positives in yesterday's match. I think the first positive was the image of Mourinho in the middle, forming a circle of players around him after Roma's defeat in front of the Curva Sud, aka Roma fans. That's a good and powerful image, because it shows you that, okay, we lost to the derby, we'll build on this now. And okay, the fans expected more. The fans expected a reaction. I understand that I'm shit in defense, but I need to improve, okay? I don't need to apologize. I need to do better. So starting from Thursday, we need a win. And I do expect, a lot of changes on Thursday. So I'll be very curious to see. But, I think they're a positive. And the other positive is that Roma dominated this match. Okay, Lazio deserved the win because they scored 3 goals and Roma's defense is shit. But fairly speaking, when it comes to possession, when it comes to attackive, movements, attackive actions, Roma completely dominated this match. Every single time you turned your head, Roma was attacking. Roma had the most attempts. It's just that Roma need to try and, finalize those attempts. Because if Roma finalize the attempts, the goals will come. And if the goals will come, the defense can be shit. Because it means that you score goals. So the other positive thing is that this club, the team yesterday, no matter the result, no matter the first 20 minutes, going down against Lazio, who was 2-0 up, it shows you that they wanted a reaction and they got a reaction. Sometimes they gave us the impression that they wanted to win, that they wanted at least to try and, get that draw. It means, because if we compare Lazio Roma, this season from last season Roma got battered 3-0. Roma didn't have one attempt, and Lazio dominated that match in every single aspect. I feel that the team yesterday wanted to fight and fought until the very end. Unfortunately, they were lucky. Now, we can speak about the referees. The referees, in my opinion, and I'm going to say this as a Roma fan, the penalty which the referee gave Zaniolo, which then Veretout scored, was never a penalty. Never a penalty. And we need to admit some stuff. Okay, it's Lazio. We hate Lazio, but we need to admit stuff. That was never a penalty. But the ref gave that penalty because probably after thinking about it, the VAR assistants told him that the penalty before, which then led to that Lazio goal, was a penalty and that they made a mistake. So, they got a compromise and gave the penalty to Roma. But in my opinion, another thing which just I do not understand, and this has nothing to do with the match yesterday. This can involve every single club, your club if you're not a Roma fan, if you watch the Premier League, La Liga, Ligue 1. Now, my big question is, you guys, not you guys out there, but the FIFA association, the football association out there, spent millions and millions of money to establish a technology in football matches, something to improve and to be more futuristic in football matches, something which gives you the real impressions of offsides, penalties, VAR, and you spend money, God knows how much money the Football Association spent for VAR, and the referee doesn't even go and check that. That's absolute bullshit. That is the most ironic and the most opposite thing ever. You spend loads of money for VAR and the referee doesn't even go and check it. You're having an absolute laugh. You're having a laugh. And I'm sure there are people out there who support Tottenham, who support Watford, who support Barcelona, which will agree with this. Because this has nothing to do with Lazio. But, if the referee realised, I should have given Zaniolo the penalty, which then led to the Lazio goal. Okay, you made a mistake. Go check the bloody VAR instead of giving compromises. Because if that was a penalty, if the penalty, the first Zaniolo potential penalty, which the ref didn't give, was a penalty, the match would have completely changed. Because instead of going 2-0 up, Lazio would have gone 1-1. And things would have changed. But I'm not saying that was a penalty, but I think the referee gave the second penalty to Roma as a compromise for the not given penalty, because the second foul, which led to the penalty, was never a foul in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, they should play more around him. He got superb number 9 characteristics and space awareness. So many times so far, Pellegrini or Zaniolo don't pass the ball. Yeah, I agree with that. Tammy is amazing, elite, but he needs service from other players, especially in these tough matches. Maybe we lost, but I still see positive. Then, yeah, I agree with that. Christian Lindby, 100%. We can't focus on the negatives too much because we need to move on. And the problems with derbies is that, a derby, you lost a derby, psychologically you're not great, because you lost against your rivals. So obviously, it's not the best news ever, but we bounce back, and we will bounce back on Thursday and on Sunday. 3 points are key. On Thursday to bounce back from this loss, and on Sunday to keep the rhythm of these other clubs. Because to be fair, Napoli look absolutely elite right now. AC Milan look elite. Roma's objective now is not the Scudetto. It's not the title. It's to get in a Champions League spot. So they need to get as many points as possible. Just replace João Sacramento with Simon already. Love it, mate. Guys, the beginning of the season is in line with expectations. Indeed, so far, we cannot complain. Let's not forget that Mourinho has inherited a complete... Yeah. Agree. Mourinho can't do anything about it, If the defenders don't step up for football matches, they don't turn up, then it's not Mourinho's fault. Mourinho can't do anything. It's not like Mourinho can play in defense instead of them. He can't do anything. But if these players don't understand what Mourinho is telling them, it'll be complete chaos. And, before continuing the live stream, if you're new here, please subscribe and like this video as well. Let's try and get 20 likes by the end of this live stream. It will be absolutely amazing. So let's look at another factor, which in my opinion has the big name of Cristante written all over it. Because Cristante yesterday was the most useless player out there. The most useless player out there. Now, when it comes to Pedro's goal, Cristante could have sprinted 2 meters and probably, even a foul on Pedro would have been nice. Pedro is now coming towards the end of his career. Cristante is younger than Pedro cannot physically speed run everyone. He is like 80 years old. His muscles don't allow him to do that. And yet, what does Cristante do? He lets him sprint past him. That's just not right. It doesn't make any sense. And obviously, speaking about Pedro, who had it, who needed to score against Roma? Who had to score against Roma? Pedro, Pedro celebrating with the eagle on him. Oh, I wish that eagle bit his arm. I'm not gonna lie. So, there are negatives and positives. There are mistakes which need to be improved. And it is the big slogan to get out of this match. There are mistakes. There are key mistakes. There are mistakes which will, if they continue to be there, if these mistakes are not going to be cancelled from this team, Roma will lose a lot of points. So, up to now, I think Roma dominated this. Dominated the match. I am not going to lie, Roma dominated that. Yes, Lazio deserved the win, but Roma dominated it when it comes to possession and everything. So, my view of this match is, okay, it's a rat invasion in the capital city of Rome. But we'll bounce back. And in the next match, the return match against Lazio, we will win. And we will use every single milligram of rat poisoning to send these rats back in the sewers. Unfortunately, we did lose the first derby. And it will mean a lot when it comes to psychological factors and physical factors as well. But the most important thing right now is that the fans need to be with the club. The fans will support this club and the fans will, help this club. A win on Thursday is key and a win on Sunday is key. And just forget about this. Obviously, acknowledge your mistakes because there are many mistakes which Roma need to improve from this match. But move on. The player's career at Roma now doesn't need to be based upon this match. You lost to the derby. We expected more from Roma. We wanted a win. These things did not become reality. Okay, we get it. Now you move on. Your focus already needs to be on Thursday's match. Because, yes, you can still think about yesterday's match, but at the end of the day, you can't do anything. If you played shit, you played shit. You move on now. You move on. I think this is the most important thing that we need to acknowledge from this. We move on right now and we build on this. So, my match reaction is this. We had chances of, reassessing stuff. We had chances of drawing. We had some hopes of winning. But unfortunately, we lost. And I am gutted because I wanted to beat them. But I do realize that we need to be realistic in football. And more defeats will come. So, right now, I acknowledge something really important. And it's something which I think every Roma fan needs to acknowledge now. And I think, who is it? Antonianus Plus said it really, really well. The beginning of the season is in line with expectations because Mourinho needs time. This team is not complete. Mourinho is not a magician. He can't come to Rome, go like this, and Roma win matches. Roma will get in Champions League zones. You need time. You need the players, and you need good schemes and tactics. Let's give time. Let's give time, not just to Mourinho, but to every single Roma player, and we will bounce back. So, obviously, I think, there were many nervous, images after yesterday's match. As I said at the start, Mourinho, there was a video which got leaked of Mourinho protesting against the referees. But that's the spirit. Because if they are bastards, you need to protest. And then obviously, there's the video of Zaniolo exiting the pitch, touching his balls, and going like that to Lazio fans. It's tough. Losing a derby is tough. And I understand the players. But we need to bounce back. We need to stop thinking about this. And we need a win on Thursday. So, before moving on to Alex, I'm going to give you my player ratings. Because, there's something really, really, really positive. 2 positive things we can take from this match. First of all, Roma is still first. Roma is still ahead of Lazio. It's 1 point. But that 1 point can decide the season. So, Roma is still in a Champions League spot right now. But obviously, the derby loss, hurts. And then the second good thing is that after this Lazio match, just a few hours after the defeat against Lazio, the Fredkins and Roma announced that Nzonzi is a new Al Rayyan player. And I mean, I'm almost about to cry. Nzonzi has finally left Roma. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. But no, jokes aside, player ratings. because don't expect high votes. There are a few players which might get. And also something, Zaniolo was the only player which in my opinion tried yesterday. Zaniolo and Veretout, in my opinion, yesterday were the only players who actually gave a sense of trying to win and trying to get a draw. So, if Zaniolo's fit, he is good. He's great. And he can bring that talent into reality, those potentials into reality. He just needs to be fit. Rui Patricio. I think it's not his fault. It's the defense's fault. But Rui Patricio, in my opinion, risked to get a red card when it comes to Milinkovic-Savic's goal, because he literally physically punched him and he risked quite a lot. And then, when it comes to Pedro's goal, I do think he could have done a teeny tiny bit better, because if you rewatch that goal, Pedro does not put power on that shot at all. It's just very, very well shot. But if Rui Patricio kind of jumped a bit more and kind of, elongated his finger, he would have probably caught that. So, I am going to give Rui Patricio a 7 out of 10. It can easily be a 6, but I'm not going to drop that as a 6 because this guy saved us many, many times, and I think he deserves a 7. So 7 out of 10 for Rui Patricio. Karsdorp, once again, useless. He was useless. Karsdorp is useless. I'm sorry, but Karsdorp is useless. He's not useless. He just doesn't give an impact to this club. Attack-wise, he doesn't cross. He doesn't shoot. That chance he had at the start was a terrible shot. In defense-wise, my grandma could do better. He is useless. It's not like he's bad. He's just useless. If Karsdorp doesn't play and didn't play yesterday, we would have probably not noticed. So I keep on giving 6s to Karsdorp because he's average. He doesn't give an impact to this club. So 6 for Karsdorp. Mancini, not good. Not good at all. I'm going to give Mancini a 4 because the defensive section yesterday, in my opinion, Mancini was to blame. And every single goal Lazio scored, the defense was to blame. So Mancini, I'm sorry, but you're getting a 4. Ibanez, much better than Mancini. He showed much more confidence and he showed a good sense of improvement when it comes to, if you compare his Lazio performance the last year, we bottled stuff. He grew when it comes to pressure-wise as well. He got the goal. He did some incredible tackles. I'm actually going to give Ibanez a solid 7 out of 10. It could be higher, but it could be higher if his contribution in defense with Mancini could have been a tiny bit better. So it's a 7 for Ibanez, but he needs to be happy because Ibanez, Zaniolo and Veretout are my man of the matches. And then we've got Vigna, who got a yellow card as well as Rui Patricio. Vigna was atrocious. Atrocious. I do not think I remember Vigna stopping Felipe Anderson once. To be fair, congratulations on that man. Felipe Anderson yesterday looked like bloody prime Neymar Jr. Vigna didn't stop him once. He did a few good tackles. He never stopped bloody Felipe Anderson. Felipe Anderson like a bloody express train on that line. Okay, Vigna's good, but if he doesn't defend, he's useless. And I would start Calafiori if he doesn't defend. Vigna, in my opinion, deserves a 4 like Mancini. Atrocious match from Vigna. Yes, we can say he's not 100% fit. In fact, I would have started Calafiori. So Vigna and Mancini were the problems defense-wise yesterday. But once again, I'm giving them a 4, but they need to improve. I'm not fully obviously I'm criticizing them for this match. But I'm not saying they're weak. They have good potentials. They just need to show that potential into reality. Now, the two defensive midfielders, Cristante for me, once again, useless yesterday. Slow, very slow on the ball. Every time he touched the ball, half an hour, and then he passed it. Quick passes don't exist in Cristante's ideology of football. And then, once again, as I said before, when it comes to Pedro's goal, my bloody grandpa could have run more than Cristante. So Cristante gets a 4 like Vigna and Mancini for me. And Veretout gets a 7. Not just for the goal, but I think Veretout is he tries to be aggressive. He tries to tell his defenders that he can't do everything in the defensive midfield section. He's trying to tell them that he needs security back there, because Veretout is not a centre back. You can't rely full responsibilities on Veretout. But, you know, he got a yellow card as well. I'm going to give Veretout a 7. Apart from the goal, good performance, solid performance from him. Now, the three attacking midfielders were Zaniolo. In my opinion, best match of the season for Zaniolo so far. Created, was the only player which actually gave a sense of trying to win this match. He wanted to score. You can see the passion he had yesterday, because those Lazio fans, he's got them here. He's got them here. And you've seen the gesture he did when he exited the pitch. He touched his bloody nuts. So, Zaniolo, in my opinion, gets an 8. This might surprise you. You might go against this. But Zaniolo, I think Zaniolo yesterday was great. And under the many criticisms he went through, I think he responded really well. And I'm going to... No, maybe an 8 it's too much. I'm going to give Zaniolo a 7. I'm going to give Zaniolo a 7 because, you know, he got the penalty, which in my opinion was not a penalty. But the penalty before, which the referee didn't give, which led to Lazio goal, was a penalty in my opinion. He created. He hit the post. He had a few attempts. He wanted to perform against those Lazio fans, and I'm giving him a 7. Mkhitaryan, it didn't perform well. He needs to get back fit, because if Mkhitaryan keeps on playing like this, he can even not play, because he's useless. So I think Mkhitaryan lacked the service for Abraham, and he needs to shoot more. Mkhitaryan is a player who scored a lot last season with Fonseca. So Mkhitaryan has and knows how to shoot, how to score. He knows how to be prolific. He just needs to show that. And I'm giving Mkhitaryan a 6, average 6 like Horsdorp. He didn't do much. And once again, El Shaarawy a 6 for me. Didn't create much. You can't do anything. You can't blame him. El Shaarawy didn't do much. El Shaarawy is one of those players which either has those great days, scores bangers of goals, or he just doesn't perform. So Abraham, in my opinion, Abraham barely touched the ball yesterday because he doesn't have the service. He was alone. He was like stranded in an island of Lazio defenders. So I'm going to give Abraham a 5 out of 10 because I think he can. He's big, right? He can win those physical tackles. He can be more prolific when it comes to physique. He just needs to once again show that to us. So I'm giving Mkhitaryan a 5/6 out of 10. Now, when it comes to substitutions, Shomurodov, great shot, great save from Reina, stepped in really well. I'm going to give Shomurodov a 7 out of 10. He played 30 minutes. Carles Perez was good. He created a few assists. But once again, I get the impression Carles Perez wants to perform like Messi too much. He's not Messi, and he needs to get that in his head. He cannot perform like Messi. So he needs to start passing the ball, and the results will come. I'm giving Carles Perez a 6, average 6. Smalling, as soon as Smalling got in, security in defense got shot. When Smalling got subbed in, Lazio didn't have any attempts. Smalling, in my opinion, had to start this match because of the experience. And I am going to give Smalling a solid 7 out of 10. And then the last substitution is, in my opinion, the only thing I think I didn't really understand. Now, I think there are two aspects to this. Zalewski obviously got subbed in for 8 minutes, and he lost his dad 2 days before the match. So I can see this, either Mourinho believing in him, Mourinho, loving him, Mourinho taking care of him, Mourinho wants him, he wants to make Zalewski understand that he can be his father, okay? It's a bit too dramatic, but he can, football-wise, a football-wise father, like Sir Alex to Ronaldo. He can be that. So, there are going to be tough moments for every player. Zalewski had his tough moment a few days back when he lost his dad, and Mourinho wanted to show that he is there. He's going to help him through. So I either see that as the motive of this substitution, But on the other hand, I don't agree when in substituting Zalewski in. First of all, he's young. He doesn't have a derby experience. And second of all, his dad passed away 2 days ago. He's psychologically destroyed, and you can't expect a lot from him in a stage of the match where you probably needed to score. I can see two views of Zalewski's substitution. But I'm going to give Zalewski, he's young. He's unexperienced. He played 8 minutes. I'm going to give Zalewski a 7 out of 10. He had a few chances. And yeah, so these were my player ratings. We shouldn't have played the game with an unfair red card. I would have called it forfeit. That's a big statement. I wonder if we should start with 3 in the back just because of those through balls that are killing us. This bad defensive work. Yeah, that's a consideration Mourinho can make. Especially, he can try that on Thursday in Ukraine against Zorya Luhansk. And maybe if it works, he can try that on Sunday against Empoli as well. Because, fairly speaking, Empoli and Zorya Luhansk are 2 matches Roma need to win. And Roma are the favourites for both matches. And the 2 wins, if the 2 wins will come, it will boost the momentum back in the players. I predicted losing this game 2-0. When I knew Pellegrini isn't... Yeah, Pellegrini is a lot. Besides Pellegrini, our captain, not being there, and shocking referee. We did pretty good. Shocking referee. Not much because of the penalty. Because in my opinion, it was a compromise. Roma's penalty was not a penalty, but the penalty the ref didn't give Roma was a penalty. But the fouls the referee whistled in that match were insane. Every time I turned my head to watch the match, it was a Lazio player on the floor. I am sorry, but that is not football. But yeah, lads, this was my match reaction and my player ratings. Let's move on to Alex and let's see what he thinks about this performance yesterday on Sunday against Lazio. Let's get Alex on, shall we?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Simon Show. It's Alex again. Please don't forget to hit that subscriber button and let's get this started. Lazio 3, Roma 2. It's a loss. I predicted a scoreline of 3-2, and I believe I said in the second half that Roma would win, but I only got one part right, and that part I got right was the fact that it would either end at 3-2 or 4-3, but I thought we'd go Roma's way, but it didn't, so it's a loss. It's 3 points dropped, and we're still in 4th place. There's no better way of putting it. Lazio deserved it. They played better, and they wanted it more. Again, shitty defense, but without Pellegrini, like I said in the second half, without Pellegrini, we are hopeless. Without Pellegrini, we do not have a team, and that's why Mourinho did say he wishes he could have multiple Pellegrinis on the team. Vertout stepped up. Mancini tried. It is what it is. We are not good enough. AS Roma is not good enough to win the Scudetto. This AS Roma team is not good enough to win the Champions League. This AS Roma team is not good enough to even win the Europa. We are an average side, and we will, what I've seen today, we will finish in the top 6. I know at the beginning I thought we're gonna win or top 2, but no, luck will only be on our side for us to get to that top 2 or top 3 position. We are a top 4 side. We are what we are. Not a horrible side. We're just okay. We're average. And not until we do get proper defenders, not until we do get central and defensive midfielders who are hungry, not until Zaniolo stops trying to be a Messi and a Ronaldo, not until Mkhitaryan realizes that he's a number 10 and he should be propelling the ball forward, not until Abraham realizes that we bought him to score goals and not to be a Lazio defender. Not until Asharawi has to remember, why he plays the way he plays, or why we bought him for the reason we bought him, and he's not just any other player, until the team realizes their purpose. It's going to be the same score line, the same thing, week in, week out. Shit performance. Yes, I'm harsh. Yes, I'm hard on the team, because I thought we could do better, and I expected us to come out in the second half with guns blazing, going hard. Yeah, the whole team, including Rui Patricio, they all get a 4/10 for me. It was a poor performance, not impressed, not happy, not in a derby game. I expected him to shed blood and sweat. That's just my take. We could do better, because I believe there's more to this side than the nonsense I just watched the second half. There's more to this side. And I'm happy Mourinho gave them a dressing down after the game on the field. We need to be better. And enough of the selfish plays, enough of the selfishness. Connect the dots. That is football. And the only way you can connect the dots is by passing. If you do not pass to people, if people don't do runs, if the forwards are not running, if people are not running into places, we can do nothing. There were lots of misplaced passes, carelessness, loss of concentration. Come on. They were playing like an under 21 team. Pathetic. So yes, I'm not happy with this. Thank you guys. Hit that subscriber button and I'm done. It's a loss. It's 3 points. We've lost, and it is what it is. Thank you once again, and back to you, Simon. Yep. I'll see you guys with a match, lineup prediction for Thursday, the game on Thursday in the Conference League. Hoping that we can even do something with that, but I really doubt. Yeah, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. What are we gonna do? Score 6-0 or 7-8-0 with what was the name of the team again? With the Conference League team, and then we think we're all that now. Put 8-0, 9-0 against a team from Bulgaria or Norway or wherever it is, and we think, oh, AS Roma is on fire. Nah. If we can beat Lazio, I don't know. I don't know what else we could do. How do we beat Milan? How do we beat Inter? How do we beat Napoli? How do this defense of AS Roma face the likes of Dzeko, of Inter Milan, or Victor Osimhen, or who else? I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Simon. Hit that subscriber button. And thank you for watching. Like I said, we're going to win some and we're going to lose some. 6 wins is not the same as 60 wins. The team needs rebuilding. We need to play more like a unit. And I hope we can do better. Cheers.
Right, you heard it from Alex. Not great words, but it is the reality. I think Roma dominated yesterday's match. I think Roma played well yesterday. They gave us the impression that they were gonna fight until the very end. That's a positive. Roma, underrated boss, but the positive side, we played really well. We pushed them. Spot on with that comment. But I'd also agree with Alex saying that now the objective is getting in a Champions League, qualification, Champions League spot. And what really puts to mind and what really makes me agree with Alex is it's just the defense, because I am not prepared to see how this club will perform against Napoli, who looks elite, against Inter Milan, who's always hard to beat, against Atalanta, who's a quick, fast-moving ball club. Obviously, it's the fun of football. Imagine how boring would it be to watch your team win every single match. And that's why I love supporting this club. And I will follow supporting, and I will keep on supporting. I will follow AS Roma until the very day I die. Even if they end up in a relegation zone. Hopefully not, but, you know, I feel like improvements need to be made every single match. And that's the beauty of football. Right, before ending the live stream, let's read some comments. We can win Conference League in Coppa Italia and 4th place in Serie A. That's the truth. To be fair, that is the truth, and that would not be bad at all. That would be great. Imagine winning the Conference League, winning the Coppa Italia, and getting 4th, getting in a Champions League spot once again. That would be more than a success for Mourinho. But obviously, you know, we need that. We need to try and... Our main objective of the season, in my opinion, is Europa Conference League and get in a Champions League position. If Mourinho does that, if Roma does this, happy days. Success, 100%. But unfortunately, the reality is that Roma lost yesterday. We will bounce back. Tomorrow, me and Alex's predicted 11 for Zorya Liswansk in the Europa Conference League. And on Thursday, there will be the live watch-along. So stay tuned. You know, we might be a bit harsh, but the reality is that improvements always needs to be made. We had 20 shots in Lazio home ground. I think you're being... Yeah, I mean, we can't be a bit harsh, but, you know, big part of the Simon Show is to be realistic. We can say that Roma played well yesterday, but at the end of the day, they lost, and there are some improvements to make. I know what it's like seeing a good team get dragged down by poor defense as Wolves fan. What do you guys think of Rui? Cool, Wolverhampton fan. I appreciate Wolverhampton, you know. Great fan of Raul Jimenez and his great story with his head injury. Rui Patricio is good. He saved us many times. I mean, it's not his club. It's not his fault yesterday. He could have done a tiny bit better, but it's mainly the defense. It's that second game that fucked us, and you need to be truthful about that how they wanted to bounce back despite Judge. Yeah, agree, mate. Winning feels better when you fight hard for it instead of winning 7 each game like Bayern. 100% agree on that, Christian Lin. That is probably the quotation of tonight. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, where me and Alex will say our predicted 11 for the Europa Conference League match. Good night, take care, subscribe, like this video, and comment down below what you think. I'll see you. Good night. And also, if you have time, follow me on Instagram at _the Simon Show. Catch you in a bit. Simon out.